children of God. But let's see what they are saying now. That in this, Pratham Vansh Uttam, this is Churamani. Second is Jagu. Third is Ahankari, Prachand. Fourth is Birah. Fifth is Nidra. Sixth is Udas. Seventh is Gyan Chaturai, that is Satnami, Taksari Panth, etc. And eighth, Dwadas Panth Virod. Ninth, Panth Puja. 10th, Prakash. 11th is Pargat Pasara. Or 12वें वंश Pargat Hoye Ujiara. 12th is of Garib Das Ji. Now what has God said is that the 12th descendant who will come, that is Garib Das Ji, through him there will be some brightness of my speech, my grandeur. It won't clarify everything. Now please see 12वें वंश Pragat Hoye Ujiara and 13th vansh descendant, this Das is sitting in front of you, Mete Sakal Andhiara, and Eti Daga Kal ki Samai, nonetheless, Tatva Bindu ki Tek Reh Jai. And then it has been said that Kal will cause such great deceit, but even then the true spiritual knowledge will remain. He will not be able to curb it. So, pious souls, let us now prove in front of you how much Kali Yuga has passed right now. In holy Hindu religion, books written by Shankaracharya are considered to be authentic records as such. Let's clarify from these how much Kali Yuga has passed right now. Please see. This is a book, Jyotirmaya Jyotirmat. Here some description has been given Jyotirmaya Jyotirmat. Its patron is Swarupanand Saraswati Ji Maharaj. This is Swarupanand Ji, who is currently sitting on the native seat. He is in charge of the two mutts, Jyotish Mutt Pithadishwar and Dwarka Sharda Pithadishwar, Saraswati Ji. Now what is written here? This is the editor, writer and compiler, Vishnu Dutt Sharma, chairman, Adhyatmak Uttan Mandal, Delhi. Source of inspiration, Shri Subudhanand Brahmachari Ji, printer, fine print and packs. Please see here, Akhil Bharatiya Adhyatmik Uttan Mandal, 1 by 3234, street number 2, Ramnagar Vistar, Mandoli Road, Shahadra, Delhi. Here are the phone and fax numbers. See on page number 11 of this book, Brief Life History of Adi Shankaracharya. Now what has been written here? Approximately 2500 years ago, in the era of dwindling faith, Shankaracharya took birth in Kerala on the coast of Purna River, in the Kaladi village in the devout Namudari Shaiv Brahman family. He was born here. Now please see. According to the Mathas of Guru tradition, his birth, Shankaracharya was born by the blessing of God Shankar. Therefore, he was named Shankar. According to the Mathas of Guru tradition, the time of his birth is considered to be 508 BC, 508 years prior to the birth of Jesus Christ. They have written, or 476 years. This is wrong. They should not have written or, because he had died at the age of 32 years. So if 32 is subtracted from 508, then 476 is left. So see here. So this is indicated here. So actually he was born 508 years prior to Jesus. That is 508 years before Jesus. Alright? And if we calculate from today, from 2012, then Shankaracharya was born 2520 years ago. So add 508 to the year 2012. So Shankaracharya was born 2520 years ago from today. And at that time, how much Kali Yuga had passed? Let me show you. This book is Himalaya Tirth. This has also been written by Shankaracharyas on their orders. This is J.P. Namburi, Deputy Chief Executive Officer, Sri Badrinath Kedarnath Temple Committee. It has been published from here. Publisher is Ranju Chakravarti, 76A by 1, Bama Charan Rai Road, Calcutta. Printer is Giri Print Services, Calcutta. Now let us show on its page 42. This is the prophecy about the birth of Shankaracharya. And there is some book called Shiv Rahasya. This is a verse from it. The translation of this verse has been done here. When 3000 years of Kali Yuga would have passed to gain victory over the philosophy of Buddhist Mimamsakas, Shankaracharya, that is Shankar, will take birth in the form of a celibate. See again. When 3000 years of Kali Yuga would have passed, then Sri Shankaracharya will take birth. Pious souls, now we have to calculate how much Kali Yuga has already passed today. 3000 plus 2520. See, like Shankaracharya ji was born 508 years before Jesus. If we calculate from today, then 2520 years have passed today in 2012. And how much Kali Yuga had passed when he was born? 3000 years had passed. So add both of them, it becomes 5520 years. Now, when will it be 5505 years? When we reach in year 2000, then 2000 years had passed since the birth of Jesus Christ. And 2508 years had passed since the birth of Shankaracharya. Meaning 5508 years of Kali Yuga had passed in the year 2000. Get this? And if we move back and subtract 3 more in 1997, 5505 years of Kali Yuga had passed. And in 1997, God had met this Das. He had said that now the time has come. Disclose the Sarnam and the Satnam. Don't worry. Hail Satguru Dev. Now, pious souls, do not think that this Das, by fabricating things, wants to befool you. No, I want to make you very wise. And I want to make you familiar with the truth that at that time, I had not even looked at this. I had not even known Kabir Sagar in this depth. But whatever, God has written it automatically keeps happening at its time. Now see about 1997, how will you believe this actually? Please see. Das has written a book Adhyatmik Gyan Ganga, which is in your hands. There is a piece of writing in it. On the page 538, there is a topic called Yatharth Kabir Panth Parchay. And in this, it is written here. Supreme God Kabir Sahib Ji met this Das Rampal Das in Samvat 2054, Falgun months, Shukla, Paksh, Ekam, March 1997 at 10 o'clock in the morning, and telling the reality of Sar Shabd and indicating the right time of disclosing to the congregation, he had disappeared. And he had order to keep this, that is, the fact that God had met me, a secret until the next order. And then God has given another precious treasure to us in the last 10 days. Das also wants to show that to you. Please see. There is one Suksham Ved Bodh. In this, God had stated 600 years ago that, Dharmdas, a time will come when only my knowledge and grandeur will be present in the whole world. All other knowledge and sects will finish. Only one sect will remain. This is Kabir Sagar. This is the same Kabir Sagar. Bodh Sagar is its part. In this, there is a chapter, Swasamved Bodh. And see here on page 171. Here God had told Dharamdas 600 years ago that we will see from below words of Satya Kabir. That is, these are words of Satya Kabir. Here, Kabir Sahib has been saying, so see here, please. It is written in this that पांच सहस अरु 500 5,000 और 500 जब कलयुग बीत जाए, when 5,500 years of Kalyug would have passed, then Mahapurush Farman जग तारण को आए. God had said that when 5,500 years of Kalyug would have passed, then a great man will come to save the world. Hindu, Turk, आदिक सबय जेते जीव जहान और सत्य नाम की साख गही पावें पद निर्बान. Wonderful. Now, pious souls, this is a very old written order of God. It had to prove true now. What is he saying? Hindu, Turk, meaning Muslim. Hindu, Muslim, and others, all others like Sikh or Christianity or any other sects that have been formed, all of them, Jete Jeev Jahan, wonderful, or Satnam ki saag gahe. That is by attaining Satnam or Pave Pad Nirman. Nirvan meaning salvation. Everybody will attain salvation, whoever will come in the refuge and obtain Satnam. Yatha Saritgan, wonderful. How will they all unite? Eliminating all the sects, only one sect will remain. How will they all unite? Please see, this is how they will unite based on this knowledge. Tha Saritgan. Saritgan means all the rivers. आप ही मिले सिंधु में धाए. Like the rivers naturally rush into an ocean, Sindhu as in the ocean. It is not in their control. Automatically their flow is formed. Yatha सरितगण आप ही मिले सिंधु में धाए सत्य सुकृत के मध्य में ये सभी पंथ समाए. Wonderful. Just as the rivers automatically flow into the ocean at a full speed, likewise, all the sects will vanish into the middle of the true sect started by me, just as all the rivers merge into an ocean. Now, what do they say? जब लग पूर्ण होए नहीं ठीके को तिथिवार. This ठीक means the time determined by me, Dharamdas. Until this predetermined time will come, that is, until 5,500 years of Kalyug will pass, the speech of mine that is written in Swasam Ved will seem to be completely baseless. जब लग पूर्ण होए नहीं ठीके को तिथिवार. Wonderful, meaning until this predetermined time will come. Theek means the predetermined time. From where did Das come to know about this theek? Like in childhood, we used to hear that a businessman is not giving the payment, he's giving further and further dates. So theek is a word of our local language. So theek means to determine the time, determining the time, that is, this theek. God is saying that until the time determined by me will come, that is, until 5505 years of Kali Yuga would pass, it will seem that God has said this just like that in Kabir Sagar. It will be fulfilled on that day. Now see, जब लगी पूर्ण होए नहीं ठीके को, that is, ठीके का तिथिवार, and कपट चातुरी तब हिले स्वसंवेद निराधार. That is, my statement will seem baseless until then. Then what does he say? Kapat chaturi tab hile. Based on deceit and cunningness, people will say that it has been said just like that. This Swasam Ved is false. Wonderful. Sabhi nar nari shuddh tab jab theek ka din avan. That is, when the time determined by me will come, when 5505 years of Kali Yuga would have passed, then he says, Kaput chaturi chhod ke sab sharan kabir gehen. All men and women will become pure, they will not have any deceit in them. They will come to know that all of this is sin. They will earn their livelihood honestly and will stop unnecessary expenditures. With less effort, they will earn much more. The extravagance that we do, the money that we spend on beedi, alcohol, tobacco, and we waste the entire time of our life in building huge bungalows, by doing nonsense in marriages, by doing unnecessary expenditures, we remain buried under debts. All this would stop. Then we will easily do bhakti. We will be able to sustain ourselves in meager income. So this has been told. Please see. सभी नारी नर शुद्ध तब जब ठीक का दिन आवंत कपट चातुरी छोड़ के सब sharan Kabir Gahan. Everyone will acquire the refuge of God Kabir. Everyone will come in my refuge. Everyone. Ek anek hav gaye. Everyone, all these different sects and religions have been formed. Puni anek ho ek. Punah means again, all of these will then become one. Ek anek hav gaye, ho gaye. और पुने अनेक हो एक हंस चले सतलोक को सब सतनाम की टेक. Wonderful. Now, pious souls, the value of Satnam has been mentioned that with the recitation of Satnam, all those who would come in the refuge of God Kabir through this Das, through this Rampal Das, then Hans Chale Satlok Sab. All who? Those who after taking Satnam will follow the rules, all of them will go to Satlok. People will go in large numbers like a crowd gathers in a fair. Consider this to be true, pious souls. You will not even realize. Like these children go for propagation of knowledge, they will go to Satlok like this. Come to Satlok. One of your step would be in Satlok from here. Ek anek ho gaye, puni anek ho ek. Hans chale Satlok ko, sab Satnam ki tek. Those of Radha Swami cult could not understand this Satnam. God had hidden this in such a way. If these fake people had understood it, then it would have been a disaster. Then how would I have made you believe that they are fake and this is authentic? Because if Satnam of 2 mantras is obtained from an unauthorized person, it would anyway be of no use. One will attain no benefit from it. For example, if someone gets a duplicate passport made, then they both are guilty. One realizes this after a long time when checking is done in Satlok while going there. By then, everything has been ruined. Now see. Then what has God said? Ghar ghar bodh vichar ho. Wonderful. My knowledge will be discussed in every home. Ghar ghar bodh vichar ho. Durmati dur bahaye. Everybody's ignorance will be dispelled. There is an uproar everywhere that this is mine, this is mine. A mother-in-law quarrels with daughter-in-law, daughter-in-law quarrels with her. One fights with one's neighbor. There is no love left between a brother and sister. There is an outcry for wealth. He says everything will calm down. All the outcry will completely disappear. Everybody will come to know that only by doing bhakti of God, one will get liberated. And God will give you so much that you will not be able to finish it. Consider this to be true. Please see this. घर घर बोध विचार हो दुर्मति दूर बहाए. कलयुग में एक है सोई और बरते सहज सुभाए. In Kalyug, everyone will unite into one and everyone will live in harmony. One will come to know that how much damage is caused if we hurt someone's soul, how much misery we have to experience. It is said that kahan ugra kahan shudra ho. Dacoits, thieves, robbers, whom you call as that of the lower caste and others who commit any wrongdoing, it is said that har sabki bhav bheer. So saman samdrishti hai samarath satya kabir. Everyone, whether one is a miscreant or of a lower caste, everyone including dacoits, thieves, etc. will accept this, that we are doing wrong and they will acquire this true path, and in large numbers people will acquire this Satnam, this path, and that guide will look equally upon everyone, will treat everyone equally, and he will be the almighty Satya Kabir. Hail Satguru Dev. Now, pious souls, it has been shown to you, God has said that when 5505 years of Kalyug would have passed, then I will come and I will start a sect. And the entire world will become one and only sing my glory and everybody will attain salvation. God had fixed this 600 years ago. Then many other great men have endorsed this by obtaining a little bit of divine vision from God. Now, let us first show you there has been a great man named Tulsidas Ji of Jai Gurudev sect who has formed a separate sect in Mathura. They have only changed the name. The practice is the same as that of the Radha Swami sect, Agra, the five mantras and the nonsensical practice of closing ears. But he was a pious soul, a loving child of God. He had done good bhakti in some previous birth. His battery was charged by the virtuous deeds. He had made a prediction in 1971 that a great man who will impart true knowledge to the whole world, whom the entire world will respect, has appeared. Now I will narrate it to you in his own words. You will like it. Jai Gurudev ki Amar Vani, Part 2. And from where has it been published? Please see. This is Sri Tulsidas Ji. Now he has gone where he had to go. Jai Gurudev ki Amar Vani, compiled by Shakahari Sadachari Bal Sangh. Publisher is Divya Sharma, 88 Saket Colony, Mathura, UP. Price is this. Printer is Arjun Printers, Old Bus Stand, Mathura, Uttar Pradesh. Now, this is that great man. Now, what do his disciples say? The world will now get peace from him alone. Until he lived, conditions in the world went from bad to worse. There was no peace. Now I will show you. Let us take you on its page 58. See on page 59. This is page 59. And it was published on 28th August 1971 in Shakahari Patrika. On that day he uttered this speech. What has he said? The great man has taken birth in a small village in India. And so he's saying the great man has taken birth in a small village in India already. That man will become the most important person in the history of mankind. He will get such a massive support from the people that no one has ever had so far. That great man will make law afresh, and it will be implemented on all the countries of the world. He will have one flag, he will have one language. On 28th August 1971, this Tulsidas, founder of Jai Gurudev sect, predicted that a prediction is of the future, but here he has predicted about the future as well as he has mentioned about the current situation that that great man has already taken birth in 1971 on 28th August. Then the people asked, Lord, please tell us where he is. When you know this much, then also tell us this, that where he is, who he is, in which small village he is, so that we can search for him. Then what did he say? On 8th September 1971, he again spoke. He gave an indication. Please see page number 50. This is the same book, Jai Gurudev ki Amar Vani, Part 2, on its page number 50. On 7th September 1971, he made a prediction. And what did he say in it? That incarnation about whom he had mentioned on 28th August 1971, that incarnation for whom people are waiting has turned 20. By souls, this Das was born on 8th September 1951, and this Das on 7th September 1971 had turned 20. Please see. That incarnation whom people are awaiting has turned 20. If I give details about this whereabouts, then people will pester him. As of now, there are no orders from above to reveal his whereabouts. I'm waiting for the right time, and all saints have waited for the right time. When the time will come, everyone would get to know everything. On 7th September 1971, he made this prediction. This Das, in the year 2012, like media took their views and our views as well, Das did a satsang after reading this speech that if Tulsidas Ji's battery is still charged, That is, in 1971, his battery was charged and his divine vision used to work. He had an enormous wealth of good deeds. He destroyed them by doing wrong worship. For example, a fully charged battery of the inverter will work even if it is not being charged, but it will suddenly come to an end if it is not charged again. That is, if true worship is not done. The same happened with this great soul. He was a pious soul. In 1971, his divine vision used to work. He distinctively told that great soul has taken birth, and on 7th September 1971, he has turned 20. But Das said that if divine vision of Tulsi Das ji still works today, then he should tell his followers that the one about whom I made a prediction on 7th September 1971 has come to Barwala and go into his refuge, but he did not do so. Instead of doing so, his disciples rather opposed us. So God had kept him alive for this purpose only. He had turned 108, that maybe he would shed his load and perhaps my task would become lighter, God had thought. But he was filled with ego, as he had lakhs and crores of followers. But now what would they do? Where would those crores of followers go? Who knows what life form he himself would be suffering in? So Das had said that if he still has the divine vision, then he should tell his followers, otherwise he has become powerless. When he did not tell his followers, he died 6 months later. He passed away. There has been a great man named Nostradamus. He also made a prophecy on this Das. You must have read it. It has been mentioned in Gyan Ganga as well by the followers. You must have read it. If not, then you can read it. He has described in full detail and to the point. And yesterday, a devotee brought here a prophecy published in a magazine of some lady foreteller, because now our devotees have become assayers and quickly understand about whom the speech is being said. So they gave it here, and we saw it yesterday. And today it is being brought in front of you, and it is excellent. This magazine that Das is showing to you now, only 2 pages from it have been given by some devotee. In this, the name of the magazine is not given, but the speech written in it is fantastic. It is true. The devotees have also searched about it online and on YouTube and have found it to be exactly same. Now we will read it to you. There has been a foreteller named Florence in America, and she has talked about this Das, about a great man. It doesn't need a mention, it doesn't look good to mention again, it will automatically come to the fore once you will know the characteristics in here. She has said, see here, world-renowned foreteller Florence has done a prediction that the Third World War would not take place. It will be averted by the efforts of India. Due to the ideology of a divine great man from India, people of spiritual disposition will come to power. The followers of that great man will spread this new ideology to the entire world. Not only India, but people of the whole world would be influenced by that ideology. The important predictions of foreteller Florence. Now see this. This is that sister whose picture has been made in this very magazine. She is standing in this photograph in the magazine, and she is standing like a philosopher. Her vision can be seen very clearly here. Now we will read ahead, which would be more enjoyable. We have photocopied this and the words have been enlarged, which makes it easy to read. Please see in this. We will read what is relevant to us that we had read on page number 53. This we had read on page 53. This is page 53. We had seen it here on page 53. And now we will read here on page 54. This is page 54. Now see what has been written here. First, they have mentioned that a lot of prophecies of Florence have come true. For example, Saddam Hussein, the president of Iraq, fought a war with America. So many predictions of Florence have come true that no one casts any doubt on her prophecies. Even the scientists are in awe of her predictions every time. Florence has mentioned India, the country, in her predictions many times. In her book named The Fall of Sensational Culture, she has written that around the year 2000 AD, the balance of nature will deteriorate in a fearsome manner. That is, bad behavior, corruption, dishonesty will infest people. There will be a strong feeling of resentment in people. Misconduct will reach its peak. Those who lead a luxurious life in Western countries will have disappointment, restlessness, and unrest. Unfulfilled desires will escalate, due to which mutual bitterness will also rise. There will be an environment of violence and vandalism everywhere. The poor will snatch the properties of the rich. There will be such an environment that there will be an outcry everywhere. Now, see. Now, this foreteller is saying that had that saint not come, the plight of India would have become such that people would have started looting each other. Then, instantly, what she said is that due to the ideology of that saint, that lethal atmosphere would be averted. There will be such an environment that there will be an outcry everywhere, but a new ideology emerging from India will end this deadly atmosphere. That ideology will explain the importance of harmony and brotherhood with a scientific viewpoint. It will also explain this, that there is no mutual conflict between religion and science. It will bring to the light the supremacy of spirituality and the hollowness of materialism in front of everyone. Now, pious souls, understand the role of these foretellers to be this much. For instance, God has made a rule, He has made earth and sun and all the constellations, and it is predetermined that the sun will rise at 6:20 am. If someone having knowledge of geography, astronomy tells that on such a date the sun will rise at 6:20 am, even if he hadn't told, then also the sun would have risen at that time, because that God has already made that predetermined system. Even if these foretellers had not told, then also God has decided on that predetermined day this would have happened anyway. Now that these foretellers are telling, so it is even more a golden chance for all of you. All pious souls should not delay. Are these great souls telling lies? God has said it, all the saints are saying it, and even these foretellers are saying it, who were not even related to this country in any way. Even then, if you would not understand, then you are childish, without any intellect. Please see this. Like Das explains to you many times in every satsang spiritual discourse, Das explains to you what God had said earlier, and even now, majority of my satsang spiritual discourse are based on this subject, that what are you doing? You have become multi-billionaire, billionaire by looting the world, and you left it all behind. सर्व सोने की लंका थी वो रावण से रणधीरम, एक पलक में राज बिराजे वो यम के पड़े जंजीरम. Someone who was once a ruler of the world is today living in a burrow after becoming a rat. God says, राम रटट निर्धन भला, टूटी घर की छान, वो सुंदर महल किस काम के जहां भक्ति नहीं भगवान. So here, Florence, our sister, is trying to say that by the ideology of that saint, supremacy of spirituality and the hollowness of materialism will be revealed. It is happening in front of you, and everybody's conscious is accepting that this is the case. They are saying that it will bring to light the supremacy of spirituality and the hollowness of materialism in front of everyone. The middle class will be influenced by that ideology a lot. Those of you who are coming here belong to the middle class and see How you are appearing here in great numbers and are considering everything this Das says to be final. Neither you have to give anything nor take anything from anyone. Marriage has to be accomplished in a simple way. We unnecessarily spend huge amount of money in marriage and then we have made numerous unnecessary ceremonies. When Durga got Brahma, Vishnu and Mahesh married, there was no one from the bride or the groom side. There was no one preparing sweets or playing DJ. She just said to Brahma, "This is your wife Savitri. Take her and settle down." She gave Lakshmi to Vishnu and said, "Son, this is your wife, go and settle down." And gave Parvati to Shankarji. That's it, marriage is accomplished. Everything else that we used to do is unnecessary nonsense. We kept a burden on our heads, we kept accumulating money all our lives by unfair means for those unnecessary things only, and in the end, we used to leave everything here. Now, please see, it will bring to light the hollowness of materialism. The middle class will be highly influenced by that ideology. This group will inspire all the groups of the society towards the development of a good society. This ideology will bring a miraculous change in the entire world. I perceive with my sixth sense that the great saint who will give rise to this viewpoint has taken birth in India. Please see here. Here it is written that a journalist had asked Florence in 1964. And the beginning of 1980 will take place with extensive upheaval. After 1979-1980, such earthquakes will occur that some part of New Jersey and places of many countries of Europe and Asia will be torn apart by the earthquake. Some will get submerged in water. The terror of Third World War will set in everyone's mind, and they will prepare for this war. But Indian politicians, not politicians, it is an indication towards that saint, will avert the Third World War. So she was alive till 1964. In 1964, she was young when she was telling all this. She must have lived another 10, 20, 30 years. She was alive until 1994, 95. So she had told at that time, she had also mentioned in 1964 that saint has taken birth. And she could at that time also see the current state of Das. She could see that. Please see here. I perceive with my sixth sense, that is, the sense that I have, that the great saint who will give rise to this viewpoint has taken birth in India. The influence of the brilliant personality of that saint will amaze everyone. His ideology will again give a new vigor to the decreasing influence of spirituality in the world. There will be a spiritual atmosphere everywhere. Wonderful. Das has been repeatedly saying that if God had not commenced his true bhakti via this Das, then in the coming 50 years there would have been no one taking the name of God in India. There would have been such an uproar. So this also has been mentioned here, that he will again uplift the degrading standard of spirituality. This is the meaning. The influence of the brilliant personality of that saint will amaze everyone. His ideology will again give a new vigor to the decreasing influence of spirituality. And there will be a spiritual atmosphere everywhere. The people influenced by the ideology of that saint will move towards the West for the welfare of the world. They will gradually spread completely in Asia, Europe, and America. Everywhere. The entire world will be impressed by the viewpoint of that saint and will walk on his footprints. People of the Western countries will consider him to be Jesus Christ. People of the Western countries, for example, America, England, etc., will consider him to be Jesus. Muslims will consider him to be a true guide, and the people of Asia will regard him as an incarnation of God. An intellectual revolution will occur from the ideology of that great saint, intellectual meaning good. That is, wise people will join him. See here, the beliefs of the intellectual people will change. These people who consider themselves to be superior, these high officials, will be compelled to think that what are we doing? What should we have done? The beliefs of the intellectual people will change. Shoots of devotion and faith towards God will sprout in them. According to Florence, that saint has taken birth in India already. She was very much impressed by this saint. She has also written in another book of hers, Golden Light of New Era. When I meditate, then I frequently see a saint. He is fair skinned. That is, he has a fair skin, and then that saint has a splendid radiance on his forehead. Rays of light of a heavenly body from the sky constantly keep showering on his forehead. Wonderful. Now, Pi souls, you may see here. This is how the rays come. God is sitting above, right here in Satlok. He is showering his rays from there on this das in this way. It is coming from the skies above, and then the power of God is continually functioning in this das. From that only, you are further being given connection. The sister Florence is describing the same thing by seeing with her divine vision that rays of light from a heavenly body in the sky are continuously showering on his forehead, and the same power is further going into all of you. Please see here. When I meditate, then I frequently see that saint. He is fair skinned. Now, see, here he has forgotten to write something. Our devotees, based on a book that he has mentioned about. Please see. Another book, Golden Light of New Era. This is a book. Based on this book, our devotees have taken out some material from a website. It is as follows in English. Please see. It is this only. I can clearly visualize a golden era divine. She says that she keeps on seeing. See here. The translation in Hindi that he has done is from here. When I enter great flights of meditation, I visualize. I see. What is this sister saying? That when I enter great flights of meditation, that is, when I do my meditation, then what do I see? Please see. When I enter the great flights of meditation, I visualize such a great saint who is fair skinned, that is, who has a fair complexion with white hair. He has grey hair without a beard or a mustache. He does not have any beard or mustache. And he has white hair. She was seeing this age of Das at that time, that at that time he will become famous. Now he has translated the same thing here, but a bit less. He might have forgotten. She has also written in another book of hers, Golden Light of New Era. When I meditate, then I frequently see a saint. He is fair skinned. He forgot to write further that he has white hair and he's without beard or mustache. The thing is that some journalist has portrayed the prophecy uttered by her in his own way. So, these people's viewpoint was on another saint, that it might be him. It is written in this that he might be Sri Ram Sharma. The person has further written than this. Like the original text of Gita is correct. The original text is correct. But the translators had themselves put it down to Sri Krishna. That Sri Krishna is narrating Gita. So here he has intentionally left this that. He will have grey hair and he will not have any beard or mustache. Therefore he has left this here. Whereas it has been clearly written in the one in English. That is the prediction uttered by her in her language. Please see here. When I meditate, I often see a saint. He is fair skinned. The saint has an amazing brightness on his forehead. Rays of light from a heavenly body constantly keep showering from the sky on his forehead. They continuously keep coming on him. I see that saint, through the power of his auspicious ideology and his followers enriched with virtuous character, is disseminating the light of new knowledge in the whole world. You can see that the children of Bandi Chhod, that is the liberator, by going to far off places, are propagating the knowledge of God. That saint, through the power of his auspicious ideology and his followers, enriched with virtuous characters, disseminating the light of new knowledge in the whole world. That saint is continuously increasing his power. He has so much power that he can also cause changes to the nature. He will do his work in a scientific manner. By his grace and endeavors, a new awareness will come in the human civilization. A new consciousness will be transmitted through all the masses of the world. A new form of people power will emerge to the fore, which will put restraint on the arbitrariness of those in power, those in high power. The followers of the saint will compel the kings who act arbitrarily to behave sensibly. You have acted nonsensically for a long time. A new consciousness will be transmitted through all the masses of the world. A new form of people power will emerge to the fore, which will put restraint on the arbitrariness of those in power, on the politicians. A psychiatrist and a world renowned hypnotist, Dr. Maury Bernstein, was a good friend of Florence. Once she had also said to him, she told him that, Doctor, that time is approaching very quickly when the society will listen to the statements of social workers like you much more carefully than that of the power greedy politicians. By the arrival of the 21st century, a new ideology will influence the entire world. Organization of religious people with good character in every nation will change the wrong beliefs in the people's minds. This ideology will blossom in India, will commence in India, and it will spread in all the countries of the world. I'm seeing an intense ascetic. I am seeing an intense ascetic on that holy place whose brilliance is spreading very quickly. That saint is trying day and night to awaken the dormant divinity in human beings and to make the earth like heaven. A journalist had asked Florence in 1964 whether she can tell the future of the world or not. In its reply, Florence had said that in 1980, this will happen. In 1990, this will happen. She had told everything. All right. What has she said further? Until the advent of the Third World War, the reins of India's control, she says here, the terror of the Third World War will set in everyone's mind, and the Indian politicians, with their influence and intellect, will become successful in averting the Third World War. Until the advent of the Third World War, the reins of India's control will be in the hands of people with spiritual disposition. Therefore, the World War will be averted by their influence. Those rulers will be impressed by the brilliant and revolutionary ideology of a great saint. They will be submitted to that saint in the same way as Washington was submitted to independence and humanity. Florence, a resident of New Jersey. New Jersey is a city in America. Florence, a resident of New Jersey, was really an extraordinary woman. Once a man called Nebel, this journalist has tried to show. He was trying to showcase that there was a reporter of America and he was taking her interview, and that interview was being broadcast live on television. Live, he asks that you are telling a lot about a saint, but tell something about me. This is the account in this. Instead of reading it out, I'm narrating like that. It will be done quickly. So Florence said, let me tell you about yourself. She held his right hand and she said, you will also do journalism in some other state. You will go there. So he was saying, he has written in this that I was telling her that you are joking with me. If people of my department would be hearing this interview, my boss, they will definitely sack me. I will not do any journalism in any other state, but will definitely lose my job. What a joke you are making. At that very moment, a phone came from my head office and it was for me only. I answered the call. My boss was saying that I am watching your interview. I am astonished. We have decided that we will send you to New York for propagation there. We will declare this tomorrow. It has been finalized. I am amazed. I'm listening to your interview. How did this Florence come to know about it? Come soon, we have to send you over there. So, the purport of this statement is that the interviewer is saying that her prophecy was so accurate. So, she only is talking about that saint and it cannot be untrue. Now, see this. Please see here. I have left this here. He was telling the same thing here. During a TV program, I asked her, the journalist is actually saying this. Often you tell about the saint who has taken birth in India. I would like to know something about me. Please tell me. Florence held his right hand and said, very soon you will be broadcasting from another state. Nebel was an employee of a broadcast service and he started laughing on this comment of Florence. After a few moments, he said, you have cracked a good joke on me. If the officials of my company are watching this program, then whether I may go to another state or not, but for the time being, I will be definitely expelled from the company. Then he made this statement. Now he said, when Nebel picked up the phone, then he said, we have decided to commence broadcasting from New York. You only will be sent there. Keep this a secret at the moment. It will be declared tomorrow. I was watching your interview with Florence on TV. The boss is saying this. Whatever Florence has told about you is completely true. I'm surprised